We've all seen them on YouTube, and some of us may have even met one. Of course, I'm talking about Karens. Yes, those rather finicky people that like to stick their nose into where they're not wanted, and also jump to the wrong conclusions and, well, basically just be bad people. Add to this an alien virus, and it can only go one way. Although the virus turning them into some sort of android cyborg thing kind of threw me through a loop. I definitely wasn't expecting that. But these are the cards we've been dealt, and one of my favourite genres, not. Okay, I do like them, it's just that every single one I play, they're bloody hard. Bullet hell games are for a completely different type of person to me. I like them, but I just suck at them. I can sit here and play them for hours and hours, but my progression is always a little bit at a time. But so is the nature of the game, for me at least. But thankfully, Attack of the Karens gives you modifiers. Now, if you find the game too easy, I don't know who the hell would find this too easy, you can actually make it harder through these. But if you find it too hard, you can actually make it easier by modifying certain key things. Game modifiers, and basically these can make the game harder by activating the curses, and easier by activating the cushions. As you can see, can just activate everything. Oh, I wonder what difference that will make to the gameplay. It may help me get further into it, put it that way. But thankfully, that's not the only place that you can modify things to do with your ship and the like. There are actual upgrades within the menu. So your main hub basically is where you can see all your different Karens. There's 4 of them here, plus a 5th one that's mysterious. Not that I'll ever get to it, but you got your boss, your areas, which is actually quite cool because these change as you play, and yeah, they look quite neat. Then you got your upgrades, which there are quite a few here to actually upgrade different things. Increase ship speed, I'll do that because yep, it's always handy. So then you launch into the game and it gives you a nice little voiced beginning to it. The game is pretty easy to control, as you imagine, firing, dodging and moving around the screen as the enemies come from any direction. There are some other features within the game, but if you're anything like me, you probably won't be using the deflector too much, or even the module cannon, or indeed the rockets. These are all reserved for people that are actually good at the game, as even if you do gain them, you still have to survive long enough in order to actually use them. And as you can imagine, within these sort of games, there are power-ups on the go. So as you actually play through the game, you collect this coinage for everything that you smash and destroy.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
And these, like circuit board things. All of it is used to upgrade your character. So basically from those upgrades I showed you before. And they can be used to upgrade your character in various ways. From, well, basically the stuff that I showed you before. And then you got these power-ups. I can activate it, yep. So that'll give you a, oh my good grief, that'll give you a power-up. And then these up here as well. And then this is another middle level enemy. And you can kind of like see why I'm struggling with this game, because like it changes so much. I'm just not built for these sort of games. Now, I have to admit I did have my worries about this game. Like, well, the title for a start, I wasn't quite sure what to expect going into it. But I'm happy to say within its difficulty level, it's actually quite enjoyable to play. I did have some fun here. There are bosses, luckily enough, and as I mentioned before, there are like 2 waves of bosses. And I think it's quite unique that not every run that you do is the same as the last run, even though you're on the same levels. And this definitely held my attention for longer than if I was just going through the same thing over and over again with the same mobs, etc, etc. Personally, I actually enjoyed the look of this game. It had some really nice old school visuals, and as I said, the enemies were pretty varied, so that kind of like added to it as well. There were bosses, and again they were all varied as well, so you wouldn't come across the same boss every single time. The sound was pretty decent as well, with plenty of different sounds for the different enemies and the different bullets, and also it was voiced.
We're out to find Marva. She used to be the local bridge queen. Now she's turned into a know-it-all nightmare with her own personal army.
And it's voiced pretty competently as well, which I kind of found a rather big surprise, as I didn't really expect it. And I remember thinking, that's pretty decent. The music, however, was okay, I suppose. It was that kind of electronic type music which kind of grates after a while, and it gets into the back of your brain and starts hurting after a bit. I will admit that I turned it down, not just to get some gameplay, but also because I wasn't a great big fan. I can see others liking it. It has that retro type feel that everyone goes gaga about. I will, however, say that there was one slight letdown, which was the fact that in handheld, I think it was too small. Everything was too small. And to my mind, in a bullet hell game, it's kind of like one of those things that you need to see all the little bullets coming towards you. But I don't think this is the game's fault for if I put it up on the screen or anything like that, I can see them better. It's more a Nintendo Switch you're playing on a handheld type problem. But it's still a bit of a problem. And so with my gripes over and done with, let's head on over to the score. So I did enjoy it. It's blooming hard, but they all are, so I can't really rate something like this down for being blooming hard. But I will say that it's quite novel the way they've done it. So I'm going to give Attack of the Karens a respectable 6.5 out of 10. It's not a game made for me, although I do enjoy them. I just can't get very far into them. 6 out of 10 is above average, I would say, and I would go 6.5 if I had like a half mark. But I don't work in halves, I work in wholes. So yeah, what do you think? Are you going to be picking Attack of the Karens up? Leave it down in the comments, let us know what you think of the video, let us know what you think of the game. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it, and also subscribe to the channel for future updates. Also click one of these 2 links here, they should be up quite high right now if you want to watch more content by me. Take care of yourselves out there, have a great day, evening, night, because life is better when we game together.